Welcome back to another video for HarborFinancialOnline.com. Today I'm going to be going over payroll tax rates, and I'm going to show you how much needs to be withheld on your employees' earnings and what those rates are. So we're going to go through Social Security, Medicare, and just the overall withholding rates. And hopefully I can simplify this and make it a little bit easier for you guys. For you out there that are new to having small businesses, this can be a little confusing. So hopefully I can make some sense of it for you guys. Now, amounts have to be withheld for each employee based on what's reported on the W-4. You're required to give your employee a W-4 to fill out, and this is going to report their marital status, their number of dependents, and so on, which will affect how much tax is being withheld on their paycheck. To be accurate on the amount of withholdings, the W-4 should be updated on a yearly basis, and then for any new employees, that's one of the first things you should do. Social Security and Medicare taxes have different withholding rates, so those aren't going to be the same. To determine the Social Security and Medicare tax rates, you have to multiply each employee payment, that's their earnings, by the employee tax rate, because each of them are going to be based on their earnings in a different tax rate. The current Social Security tax rate is 6.2% that can be withheld, and the total wage base limit is $106,800. What this means is once you get above $106,800, you'll no longer withhold the Social Security taxes because they're exempt from taxes after that point because there's been enough withheld, they've paid enough. The Medicare tax withholding rate is a 1.45%. and there's no base limit on this amount. You'll multiply both of these percentages by the total employee earnings. So what I want to take you guys to now is I'm going to show you these rates. Let me bring up the form. You can get this off the IRS website, and these are the weekly payroll period rates, the amounts of withholding that you should have. So this is a really good page for you to download and keep. I'll go through a couple of examples, explain to you how to use this form. So we'll go over here. This is on a weekly payroll, so if you're paying bi-weekly, you're going to double it up. And let's just say the earnings on this, you go right here to B, a married person. Their earnings were $4,000 in this range, $4,173, but not over $7,335. It's going to be $900.66 plus 33%. So you'll take the difference between $7,335 and whatever amount you had, say $5,000. You'll subtract those two and then multiply that by 33% plus your $900. So you can go through this form and find exactly what the earnings were of that particular employee, and I'll tell you how much has to be withheld from their income. So let's go to a little higher earner here so it'll be more relevant. So we can just go based off total salary here instead of weekly, and then I'll tell you how much. Let's say you had an employee that was in this range, $37,875 to $47,025. If your employee was making $47,000, the amount of withholding should be $4,381 plus 25%. And again, that 25% is the difference between $47,000 and $37,000. So approximately $9,000 here times that 25% plus this amount, the $4,000. That's how you do it. So it's pretty easy to calculate that amount. And again, I would recommend downloading this form. It's going to give you all the withholding amounts and give you more information on it. And on our website, HarborFinancialOnline.com, we offer a free online calculator which will you can put in the amount. If you're the employee, you can put in the amounts of tax withheld to see if it was the right amount and if you're going to get a refund or not. Because if you had enough withheld, then you're going to get a refund, and if enough wasn't, then you're going to owe taxes in the year. Now, if your employee has a marital status change or the number of withholdings, you're going to have to submit an updated W-4 to the IRS and to your local state agency. You need to make sure for whatever state you live in, you go to that website, download the form, because each state is going to be different. If you don't receive a W-4 from your employee, if you've requested this from your employee over and over, and they still won't supply you with a W-4, you have to withhold their taxes as they are single with no additional allowances. So they're going to be withheld on the maximum amount since they're single with no allowances, no dependents. So that's the course you're going to take if you don't get that W-4. And usually, if you have a new employee and you're waiting a few weeks to get that W-4, that's how you're going to want to start the withholdings, is based on that amount, single with no dependents. You'll submit the original W-4 to the IRS and keep a copy for yourself. And I think recently they've changed it where you can submit the W-4 electronically, but you can send it by paper. If you send it by paper, it has to be the original, but I think you can do it electronically. I think you can scan it and send it. And again, I would recommend checking out our site, harborfinancialonline.com. You can prepare your taxes directly online there. Your employees can, and you can do business tax returns on the site. And there's a free online calculator which will allow you to put in all the withholding amounts. So I appreciate you watching the video, and hopefully you check out some of my future videos. Thanks.